Good evening. This morning I received an email quoting a column by Charles Fauconda. It was in reference to the building of the mosque at Ground Zero. But there was one part of this column that did stand out to me. These few lines, quote, "America is a free country where you can build whatever you want, but not anywhere." That's why we have zoning laws. No liquor stores near schools, no strip malls near where they can offend local sensibilities. And if your house doesn't meet community architectural codes, you can't build at all. He continues to say, some of these restrictions are for reasons of aesthetics. Others are for more profound reasons, common decency, respect for the sacred. No commercial tower over Gettysburg, no convent at Auschwitz, and no mosque at Ground Zero. Build it anywhere, just not there. That was unquote at the end. As the slanted debate over building this mosque has become a war of words over freedom of religion, this ordinance has become a distorted argument over civil liberties. This is not a question of civil liberties, for we are a people governed by laws. I am currently working on a home in the historic area of Orange. It is on a half-acre lot. They can only have 2 dogs. They can have no horses, even though there is a 1912 barn still standing on the property. And every time I make a plan for this house, I have to go before the planning and the historic commissions. I don't hear my clients crying out for civil liberties, for they knew what they bought, that there would be some restrictions to any improvement that they wanted to make. They knew from the beginning. Norco didn't just happen. The trails didn't just appear. Ingalls Park didn't just pop up. The tie-ups in front of the restaurants and shops on 6th Street didn't just materialize. They have been here. And that is why, and some of the reasons of why I moved here. I have heard the opposition slam those of us who want Norco to remain rural. Well, slam away. You think you can insult us by calling us slow-paced cowtown? You've empowered us. Please. There is always room for change, and there's always room to make Norco better, but not different. Help us keep our animal keeping rights. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Roy Hungerford, and I am a resident of the Hills, and I can tell you these folks do not speak for me. In fact, I can go even a little bit further. They wouldn't send me a postcard. They wouldn't knock on my door when he was parked right out in front of my house, come up and talk to me. So I think you know where I stand on this. I support this ordinance. I want you guys to pass it tonight. I have a barn and an RV garage, and our RV garage is only 20 feet high. I can stand on the roof of my RV, and I still can't reach the ceiling at 20 feet high. Why you need anything taller than that is absolutely ridiculous. When we did it, we had to get everything Harvey said that is terrible about this whole thing. We got engineering plans, we paid permit fees, we waited, I think it was almost 2 months for our permits. We did all that. So now you're telling me all I have to do is go to the planning commission? Big deal. I like the planning commission. I wouldn't have any problem to do it all over today. So we built a barn and an RV garage, and you know what? We still managed to maintain our path at Harvey. And that wasn't a problem at all. We have horses, and everything seems to be running at our place. So I wish this ordinance was in place, because I sure wish I would have known about the gymnasium built, because it's right above my house. You know, it was sold to the city as a barn. Shame on both the city and the neighbor who lied and cheated about it. The first time I turned on my light, I thought it was a full moon. It lit up my entire house. And then we have to come back to the city and tell them to turn off the light. Now they do, now they don't. At night, I don't need to use any lights in the house. I just make sure they have their light on and I'm good to go. So, this talks about property rights, get taken away. That's absolutely ridiculous as well. Every ordinance is a restriction of property rights. Every single ordinance. I would love to have 20 horses on my property, but I can only have 5. Is that taking away my property rights? Or is that just common sense and being a good neighbor to my neighbors? Earlier you said that you were against designated animal keeping areas on the rest of Norco. Yet you had no problem voting for PACAs on our residential neighborhood. So if you don't pass this tonight, are you going to personally repeal all the PACAs in our neighborhood in the hills? I hope you do. So, and as far as this petition thing goes, they don't represent half of our neighborhood, 370 signatures. If I went around and lied and told this truth to everybody, I can get them to sign anything I want to sign too, okay? As far as the petition as well, the Swindells were the ones responsible for passing around the petition that didn't want the word Norco or Horsetown USA on our sign. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Support this ordinance tonight and pass it. I've heard lots of people, lots of cheers for everybody wanting to support animal keeping. That is the key part of this ordinance that I see, that there is a reserved space for animal keeping by the time you finish building all your buildings on your property. Without the reservation of that space, you end up with the places on Gallup, the barn, the gymnasium. They encroached in their PACA, so I think that's a key part of this ordinance. That's why I think we should pass it, because it leaves space for animal keeping. The interesting thing, the calculation is actually less than the calculation needed for the PACA. And the reason I believe that is because up in the hills, the PACA, you can put a barn you can put a barn into your PACA. So there's more space reserved because they knew you were going to put buildings in there. So the amount of space being put into the rest of the ordinance is less than what is required up in the hills. I've also heard a lot of people say they want to be notified when buildings are being built. That is the other key part of this ordinance. Any building over 864 square feet require a notification to your neighbors. So that's why I urge you to pass this. Thank you.
K-O-O-I-M-E-N. I've been a resident in Norco for over 19 years. We moved here because we want animal keeping. We would like to keep it preserved for animal keeping. There is certain things that I am against. Some of them are homeowners association fees, gated communities, and improper use of land. Now, we had people go for variances or granted, and they were allowed to build on super small footprint lots, which there is no animal keeping on, but they had to get a variance because we have animals. We want to keep animals, we want to keep the rights for people to have animals. Now, you got a ordinance that is going to come up with square footages, height requirements, and stuff. If that's all that is endured in that, that's fine. But if you're going to go and try to push for homeowners association fees, you're going to get a big backlash from the people out of Norco, because we bought here without them. We do not want them. We do not want gated communities. Gated communities are going to be put up. They're going to have less than square foot lots. They're going to be condos. They're going to try to get property around the lake, and they're going to want to be their own individual community, and it's going to divide Norco. We do not want this. Thank you.
Can I get this appointed? She will be followed by John Box. That's it.
There's a fact. California has more horses in it than 48 other states. We're second only to Texas. Which, if you subscribe to the notion that Texas is a whole other country, we could be considered number one. Mr. Swindell's letter to the council stated the need for expedient solutions to complex modern problems. Well, here's a complex modern problem. How can I keep horses in my backyard and safely ride them in my community when there is no land left in Southern California for either activity? The Norco City Council faces this challenge every day. And unlike so many communities that have eliminated agricultural zoning and replaced trails with sidewalks, this council sees fit to retain open space, preserve the integrity of animal-keeping properties, and maintain our trail system. The solution to this modern problem is Norco. There is no other city that we can use as an example to follow. We are unique. We are pioneers. We are setting the standard of Horsetown, USA, with every zoning change and building permit approval. It is essential that these decisions are made with the animal-keeping integrity of the properties kept intact. Got my yes vote tonight.